Hey, it's Dan Morales, and this is Homebuyer Radio. This is episode number 101. That's right, 101 episodes of Homebuyer Radio. I can't believe we gotten this far in the last nearly 2 years. Well, this week what we're going to talk about is for those of you who are self-employed. If you're self-employed and you want to get a mortgage, you may find that you have had difficulty in being able to get a loan approval, okay? That has a lot to do with the fact that oftentimes you have loan officers who truly don't know how to properly calculate a self-employed client's income. Now, I know we talked about this, earlier in the 100 episodes that we've done, but as we get closer to wrapping up the year here, I want to talk about things that you should be thinking about if you're self-employed before the end of the year. Now, what happens a lot of times is you have clients that will go through with the guidance and direction of their CPA. They will try to do everything they can to show the least amount of income possible by the end of the year. And so sometimes what happens is there's last-minute purchases or last-minute expenses that are accrued by the end of the year so that they can turn around and be able to show this massive, write-off or massive expense to help reduce income for the end of the year. Well, when you do that, you could be putting yourself in a position that could help to make it significantly more difficult, if not impossible, to be able to get you a loan approval. So what you want to do is you want to have, some thought, about this before you, put too much strategy into play here for those of you who are self-employed. And what I mean by that is that if you know that part of your game plan is to purchase a house in 2019 and you're self-employed, you should be talking to us now. Okay, don't wait until you file your tax return for 2018 to find out that you have a problem. What are the things that you could be doing now or could avoid doing that could put you in a better position to be able to purchase a house come 2019, especially if you're self-employed. Okay, so before you employ some of these strategies or tactics to reduce your income for 2018, you need to make sure that you're talking to me before you get to that point, because I'd hate for you to do something that ends up being a huge problem for you, and then now you can't get approved for your mortgage. Okay. Now, when you're self-employed, typically the general rule of thumb, if you don't have 5 years of experience being self-employed, the general rule of thumb is that you have to average your income for the last 2 years. Okay. So what that means is, let's say in 2017 you had $100,000 of income, and let's say in 2018 you had $120,000 of income. Normally what would happen is you would take, the income for those 2 years and you divide it by 24 months. And that's typically what an underwriter is going to use as income when they qualify you. Okay. Now, when I gave you those really generic dollar amounts, there's a lot of math and there's a lot of things that go into determining what your actual income is. Okay. It's not just what you pay tax on, because there are oftentimes expenses that clients will write off that are paper loss expenses that we can actually add back into that calculation of income. So normally what's going to happen is you would have a 2-year history that we're going to look at, okay? Now, if your income is downtrending, okay, let's say in 2017 you had $100,000 of income, and let's say in 2018 you had $90,000 of income. In the case where your income is downtrending, we are going to average that most recent 12 months worth of income, okay? Now, it doesn't work the opposite when your income is uptrending, but when it's downtrending, an underwriter is typically going to take the most recent 12 months worth of income because it's actually going down. And in some programs and in some cases, an underwriter may even want to see a year-to-date profit and loss statement, depending on when in 2019 you choose to start the mortgage process. Okay, so long story short is, if you're self-employed, before you get across the finish line for 2018, if you know that there's a high probability that you are going to want to do something, with a mortgage come 2019, you should probably be reaching out and having that conversation with myself or a highly competent mortgage loan officer who has experience in working with self-employed clients. Okay, I can tell you there are a lot of loan officers that have no clue of how to properly document income or calculate income for those of you who are self-employed. I can tell you that with a high level of confidence because I get a lot of self-employed clients who have been turned down by other loan officers only to be able to help them get a mortgage done here because we actually know what we're doing. Okay. So it's really important that, if you're going to go into 2019, you're thinking about the possibility of a mortgage and you're self-employed, that you have a conversation with us now so we can help you put into play, if you will, a game plan that's going to be solid. That's going to help to make sure that you don't write off a bunch of expenses that are going to end up coming back to bite you in the rear end when you try to get your loan approval. Okay. My name is Dan Morales. My NMLS number is 709729. You can find me online at danmorales.com. That's DANMORALEZ.com. Phone number is 616-931-4629. And of course, North Point Bank is an equal housing lender.